This is the DC Defender Show on United Football Media, the #1 spring football media conglomerate. We are coming at you with another episode of the DC Defender Show. Last week, we talked about newcomers to the offense. This week, we're coming up with newcomers that you need to know to the defense. And this is an interesting subject because the defense had been the strength of the team for every year it's existed. And a lot of guys, especially in the secondary, have moved on. It's a huge influx of new players, most of them slotted near the top, who are set to make an impact or start. So we are replacing a ton of pieces on defense. And we're going to tell you about some of the guys that we got that are going to hope to stand up to that challenge. The first guy I found to be really, really interesting. Defensive, so it depends on if they go to a 3-4 look or 3 big down linemen. So he could be a defensive end or a defensive tackle. Rayshad Nichols, 6'2", 305 pounds, out of Stephen F. Austin, where he was very productive. The thing that's interesting about this guy is not a real long bio, but he was on the Ravens, got elevated from the practice squad, got into the game, and as a 300-pound defensive lineman, made 4 tackles in 15 snaps. So you're talking about a guy who, that's insane, a level of production and the one chance that he got. It's surprising to me that he didn't get any more shots, any more time on the field to, when he's producing that much. 15 tackles or 4 tackles on 15 snaps is insane for any player, but especially from a lineman. And he that's crazy to me, and we're excited for him to be a new addition to this defensive line. If he's going to keep doing that sort of production, he's got to be an impact player. So Rayshad Nichols, a guy I'm big time looking forward to seeing produce on the field for DC Defenders. At the next level of the defense, another really interesting guy, Quincy Roche. Ended up, he was at Temple for the beginning of his career and then transferred to the University of Miami for his final year. In his last year at Temple, he was first team All-American, named so by Sports Illustrated, recording 13 sacks for his last year that he spent at Temple. Super, super productive. Was taken in the 6th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bounced around the NFL a little bit, got a few stats here and there, but a 13 sack guy while he was at Temple, the All-American, named first team All-American, Sports Illustrated that year coming out. Quincy Roche, him and Malik Fisher coming off these edges could mean huge things for this pass rush and for this defense. Rowdy Outy rolling, lemons flying in the air. Once we get that stadium back rocking, and we have possibly, just from production wise, possibly the best pass rush duo in the league here between Quincy Roche and Malik Fisher. So very, very excited to see him ply his trade and do his thing. So the biggest place where we lost a lot of guys was in the secondary. One of the strengths of the team, one of the best players in the entire league, Michael Joseph, retired from football. Our best corner. We also lost Garyon Conley. We also lost Santos Ramirez, big time playmaking safety. So a lot of guys who were very high quality players from that secondary shipped out. We'll be talking about the returning players in a couple of weeks, but not all is lost because we did get DeAndre Baker back, who was a top 50 draft prospect the year he was coming out for his draft. So we're gonna have some space to fill, but luckily the guys we're bringing in are fairly high profile. Michael Ojemudia was drafted in the 3rd round by the Denver Broncos, had a very productive season as a rookie, started 12 games for them, played in all 16, had 64 tackles, 3 forced fumbles. Really solid player for them. The year he had a rookie, he came back the next year, got injured, got put on injured reserve, never quite recovered because after that, there was a lot of defensive system changes for the Denver Broncos. But this is a player who performed very well at Iowa, where he went to college, and then performed very well his rookie season in the NFL. And then ever since then, it's been system changes, it's been trades, it's been injuries, it's been things like that. But a productive player at the next level and a highly touted player coming out as he was a top first 3 rounds draft pick. On the other side, we have Kelvin Joseph, a guy who was a 2nd round draft pick by the Dallas Cowboys. Started off at LSU, came transferred to Kentucky, 113 career tackles, 12 classes for loss, 3 interceptions, all of that his senior year, played in the All-American Bowl. Again, a fine player, 4'3", 440 at 5'11", 200 pounds, great size, great athletic tools, and again, a concussion, a groin injury, a change of system, a trade, and then he's bouncing around practice squads. So both of these guys, highly touted, highly drafted in the NFL, and then it's just injuries and practice squads ever after that. Both guys came from big-time colleges. Both guys got drafted fairly high in the NFL relative to a lot of the guys you see in the league, and both guys were productive when they got on the field, especially Ojemudia. So I think there's a ton of potential for these guys to step into the shoes of the secondary members that we are losing and get some things done. I'm really, really hoping for it. The last notable new face on the defense that we're going to cover is Taylor Hawkins, a safety out of San Diego State, who spent his rookie year on and off the practice squad, also got some reps for the mighty, mighty San Francisco 49ers. 6'1", 205 pounds, 4'5", 340. He was 2nd team All Mountain West his senior season with 62 tackles and 2 interceptions. He was also graded out as the number 2 coverage player in the whole nation by PFF, the PFF college grading. So again, a guy who was very active, who was very productive, who got reps on an NFL team, did well. He was in training camp with the 49ers for his 2nd year, got injured, got released. Just, numbers didn't work out. If you're sitting on IR, if you want to make the club, you got to stay out of the tub. And that's really what happened. So still a guy who the Niners looked at could make an impact for them until he got hurt, and then they had to let him go. So we're lucky to get him over here on the DC Defenders, especially losing a very solid starting safety from last season. So Taylor Hawkins, I'm looking for big things from him as well. Tay, you were looking up these guys. You're getting ready to go. We're talking about what we're going to do on the show. What defensive additions, what new faces are you looking at and most excited about?
I definitely like Taylor Hawkins, who you were just talking about. His only game in NFL as a 49er had an interception, 4 tackles, a pass deflection. Like, I don't know how you don't get another chance after that. But yeah, just he's young too. Like, and that's the thing I'm gonna continuously say, like, throughout the episode, like, all the additions are young. No one's in their 30s or anything like that. Like, a lot of these guys still have a lot to go. Some are even 25 and under. Like, all these guys have a lot left in the tank. None of them are even close to, being old or anything like that. So yeah, I like Taylor Hawkins. He's only 27. He played 5 years in college, all at the same school. He played at a high level, like I said, made it to the NFL. But yeah, I think Taylor Hawkins would be really good. Like, I like the age factor into it. I like how he played a lot of college, had so many snaps, so many reps. So yeah, I think that'll translate really well, and we'll hear his name a lot.
Especially in this Gregg Williams defense. Like, we know what time it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would probably say that's my favorite. That's my favorite addition on the defense. But I also do like Quincy Roche from Maryland, close to the got drafted, like you say, got drafted to the Steelers in the 6th round. Again, he had a lot of high volume plays in college.
Yeah.
I believe he was at Temple. Yeah, he was at Temple for about 2 years. He
Yeah.
had a really good season. Transferred out. Went to Miami. Still had a lot of TFLs next year. But yeah, I think he'll be really good on the D line. We can say we can have one of the best D lines in the league. This was a great addition to me as well. And again, like I said, he's young as well. Like that's just so important to me. Instead of bringing in like 31-year-olds where you may only have one season with them, like these guys are young. Like he's 27. He's 27. So just like Taylor
prime.
Hawkins, we got a lot of football left. So I do like that factor. Bryce Thompson, he went to Tennessee. You might remember him, might not, but again, he played in the NFL. He played a couple games, just some special teams.
Safety, right?
Team snaps. Yes.
Yeah, Bryce Thompson is another safety we brought on. Yep.
Yeah,
but I think he plays both safety and corner.
Yeah. That's I was kind of confused when I saw that. But yeah, he played 3 years at Tennessee. Started sophomore through senior. He had a lot of tackles. Had a couple, like 2 or 3 picks a season. So could be a great addition. Played SEC football. That's always good.
Yeah.
One of the best conferences. He's 25.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really young. So
ton of potential to tap into.
Exactly. Still got a ways to go to grow as a player. So I definitely like that too. Like again, being young is always a plus for me. You never know how long you guys have. The younger they are, the more you got out of them. So I liked him as well. And for a final player, I like Kelvin Joseph. He went to LSU, went to Kentucky in college. He's also 25 again. He got drafted in the second round for the Cowboys. Never really got he played a couple games. He played about 10, and it started to go down and down and down. But again, he's only 25, so there's a lot of potential there. Yeah, again, I just it's a great group of guys. Like you could say the defenders won the offseason. Like just so many additions across the board, offense and defense. So many young quality players coming in, starting right away. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited for the season. I'm a fan of all these additions. No one really. I think everyone will be just fine. I don't think any mistakes were made when it came to the additions. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm liking what I'm seeing.
It's just a good thing to make the 1-to-1 comparison because you look at a defense that lost, these key pieces and some of our best players in the secondary, but then every single guy we're moving into slot to replace them are all highly touted people, are all second-round draft pick, third-round draft pick, was an effective player at Tennessee, was an effective player, was second team all Mountain West, and was an effective player when he got to be in an NFL game. Every single one of these guys who are moving in for some of our best players that we unfortunately lost through attrition, either retirement with Michael Joseph or just because they were too darn good with Garyon Conley and Santiago. But we have highly touted guys coming in to fill in those slots. And that's all that you can ask for in a league like this where your attrition rates are always rolling. Tay, you got anything else about the defense, about additions, fits into this Gregg Roman style, or Gregg Roman Ravens on my mind because they made so many poor choices during that era, and then they made a poor choice letting our guy Quincy Roche get out of there. 4 tackles and 15 snaps. Look out for Quincy Roche. Gregg Williams is what I was meaning. The big man, Gregg Williams. Any other thoughts about the fits of some of these guys into that defense, especially like Taylor Hawkins, man? Our safeties usually play like that Rambo position where they're running around all over the field making plays. And I think Taylor Hawkins is going to be more than up to the challenge between all the tackles he had, interception, like you said, he got in a game in the NFL. One opportunity in the NFL, and he's logging tackles and getting an interception. It's a lovely thing. You think about the fit of Taylor Hawkins or anybody else that you want to pick for this style of defense.
Yeah, I think Taylor Hawkins would do well pretty much anywhere you'll put him. You know, he's one of those safeties that can handle coverage, and he can like help out in the run game. So yeah, I think Taylor Hawkins would be very impactful. Like probably the name to watch for me. Like I just like his game. I just like the game. He just looks different out there. Like he pops out on the screen for me. So when I watch him. So definitely think Taylor Hawkins will fit. Quincy Roche, I think that was a slam dunk pickup.
Yeah.
I don't see how that couldn't work. You know, it kind of shows that we're gonna try to get to the quarterback. You know, try to lead the league in sacks.
And that's what, this team was all about. That the year that we went to the championship, controlling the line of scrimmage, controlling the trenches. The pass rush was nasty, and the run blocking was fantastic, and the run game was rolling. Another thing I noticed about all these defensive backs, and fits perfectly in the Gregg Williams system, what have we named? What stat have we named over and over while we've been talking about this? Tackles. All of these guys can tackle. All of these guys can hit. Two of them, like you said, you named them out of the SEC. Kelvin Joseph out of LSU / Kentucky. The other fellow, Bryce Tompkins, Tennessee. Guys who are in the SEC playing physical football, and then the other guys have the stats that show that they're up to the challenge. I love these additions for this defensive system. We lost a lot, but we're bringing in a ton of talent, a ton of active players. I think we're going to be able to have this defense and Rowdy Audi rocking once again. Come on back next week. Again, if there's anything that you guys want us to cover about the DC Defenders, hit those comments. We will read them. We will address them on the next show. We'll dig into whatever topics that you guys care about. Coming back next week, we're going to be digging into returning players on the offense and kind of an overall look at the offense and what we expect out of them this season. Once again, another thing that could be playing in the Defenders' advantage is continuity. We've got the whole crew back, got both coordinators back, got the head coach back. Players who have been in the system a long time, it's going to be helpful. So we're going to be talking about the offense next week, returning players added with the new additions, get us acquainted, get us ready to roll. Following that will be the defense, same thing, et cetera, et cetera. So if there's anything else that you guys want us to cover, hit up the comments. We appreciate all the love and support from last week. We're going to keep on doing the best we can for you. Local coverage for the people, by the people. This is the DC Defenders Show on United Football Media.